What is up, everybody? Welcome to our first podcast. My name is Peng Peng Lee, even though you can't see me, but my name is Peng, and I have my co-host with me, Janay
Honestly.
You guys are listening to the first episode of Ambition on Fleek. Yes. What do we... Jesus. What do we talk about on this podcast, Janay? You want to introduce a little bit of what we talk about?
And then this is the first point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can say it in any way you want.
Wonderful. All right, so how we came up with Ambition on Fleek, because we are such ambitious women in sport. Basically, on this podcast, we're going to talk about how to inspire and motivate you through our unique stories from our gymnastics experiences. We are both NCAA champions. Peng Peng Lee was on the Canadian Olympic team as a captain.
You don't even know. Janay. Okay, so we've been friends for about 4 years, and Janay was a freshman when I was a junior at the UCLA gymnastics team. You need to know your facts, Janay.
At the UCLA gymnastics team.
On the UCLA. We're a little nervous. Just like sweating a little bit, but that's okay. Basically, through the sport of gymnastics, we have learned a lot of the importance of balancing school life, athletics, our mental training. And so we want to share that experiences with you guys through our stories, because we both have very unique stories.
And they just come together through UCLA gymnastics.
Yeah, but to talk a little bit about yourself, Janay. I want to, even though I know you, I want to know a little more about you.
Let's see how well you do know me.
Okay, so what do most people not know about you in your gymnastics career?
Oh, that's a good question.
I stunned you on that one.
You really did. Well, I feel that I'm very open about how I got onto the UCLA gymnastics team, but I do think that what shocks most people is that I was told that I wasn't going to compete for UCLA gymnastics. I had coaches that weren't super motivating in that aspect. They tried to veer me away from that dream, but that is the story I want to tell people, that they can overcome an obstacle like that. Granted, there are many obstacles you can overcome and that you will encounter in life, in sport, and basically anything in general, but I would say that definitely for sure, because people are just always shocked about when they hear about that, so.
Yeah. So a little bit of my background, if you guys don't know already. I was the 2012 Olympic team captain for Canada. I'm a 2-time NCAA national champion, 1 national champion on beam, so that was great. And then last year we won the national championships, so that was super fun. And I scored 10 perfect 10s in my career, and 2 of them were at the national championships, one of them being the winning score for us to win a national championship.
She basically secured the bag and sealed the deal for us.
So crazy. Good thing I didn't know.
Well, none of us knew, actually. Well, I think the coaches knew, but we didn't know. And I think the fact that you went into your last beam routine and you said, you know what, we're not going to win, so I'm just going to go out there and do my best routine.
Right?
And that's exactly what needed to happen for us to win anyways.
I know, so great. Good thing about that.
I came onto the UCLA gymnastics team as a walk-on, so I basically was recruited in that way. I just made myself very known to the coaches. I went to all of the UCLA gymnastics camps in the summer, and then I came on as a walk-on, competed all 4 years. My second year, I won 2016 Pac-12 uneven bars. I'm the co-champion, I should say, with the beautiful Elizabeth Price. I was really proud to just be on the podium with her. I thought I got third, but I won with her too, so it was great. And then, we won Pac-12s that year as well. So we have 2 rings, 2016, 2018, and then we won.
And we have a pendant.
Which is a necklace.
In Pac-12, when you win Pac-12 championships and national championships, we were excited because we thought we were going to get 2 rings. No, we got 1 ring and a pendant.
See, I don't know if that's a rule, though. Is that a rule?
I don't know.
Is that or they just decided
I have no idea.
it for
All
us?
I know is that we couldn't get a ring, so we got a pendant.
I mean,
it's cute.
It's cute, but I wanted a ring.
And the truth comes out.
It's cute. I wear it sometimes. And
what are some?
I did not score 10 perfect 10s like the wonderful Peng Peng Lee, but I did get 1 10 from a judge, so I do count that.
That's what I mean. We have
On my last routine ever, competing as a Bruin, a judge gave me a 10, and if you would have told me that 4 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you.
Hey, you know, we both have different stories, and we both have come a long way from where we were. That's all I'm going to say. So there has been so much happening in the gymnastics world right now, like with even in elite gymnastics and in NCAA gymnastics. And so I feel like, what is it like being on the other side of not competing?
It's definitely less stressful, I would say. I get so amped up for the girls when I go to the meets now, and it's just weird being the alumni on the other side watching, and I can just remember like it was yesterday on what it felt like to warm up and then get dressed and then go out and compete, and what it probably feels like if you fall, you know what I mean? And just kind of
I walk into Poly Pavilion, which is where the UCLA gymnastics team competes, and I'm like so stress free. Like I normally used to get canker sores a lot from all the stress of competition season.
With your essential oils.
My essential oils and everything. But now I'm like so stress free. It's great.
Basically, in this episode, what we are going to talk about is how we as individuals stay motivated on a daily basis. Peng's is different from mine, but we're going to share the way we stay motivated on a daily basis, especially when it came to being in gymnastics, going through season. The gymnastics season is long. College is different. You're competing every weekend. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Well, we also thought it was a good start because it reflects not in just gymnastics, but in every sport. Like, even in life in general.
Just in life, I would say, because you're not going to have a 100% great day every day. So how do you?
That's tiring. Having great days every day? No, I'm kidding.
Wouldn't be great, though, but it's not exciting, and I feel that you learn the most when you come back from a bad day or a day when you need to get motivated, you know?
Right, yeah. Okay, so do you believe in self-motivation, or do you think it's okay to look at others for motivation when you are going through your goals on a daily basis?
I think it goes both ways, honestly. I do believe in self-motivation because, it inevitably does have to come from yourself. But, yes, there will be days when you need that external, I'll say force. Does that work? Force. External force. Because, like I said, you're not going to have a great day every day, and sometimes you're going to need help to get the motivation within yourself to go, which is why you have coaches, you have teammates, and you have these people to look up to, and that'll give you the guidance that will help you.
So, so I'm going to speak on myself. Wow, that was a knuckle crack. Can you hear that?
That was really close to the microphone.
Gymnast probs. No, because whenever I was going through stuff in the gym, I feel like I would have this argument all the time saying, like, you have to be self-motivated, like, it has to come within you. But I'm like, but sometimes you really need to ask other people for help.
I know, I did that.
I had to ask other people for help because I'm like, okay, it's harder for me on a hard day to get myself going when I'm like, hey, Jay, can you cheer for me?
Mm-hmm. But I asked you to watch me all the time.
Right, but you know how some people just disagree with that, though?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like whenever we were in the gym, some people just didn't agree with that method. But I think you could use both methods.
I think you could use both. I was the person that liked to use both methods. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm definitely someone that believes you can use both methods because, like you said, there are people that like to use just that one method. It comes from yourself. But once I realized that I did need that external motivation or someone just to cheer me on or motivate me, I definitely did that when I needed it the most because, it would just take longer for me to motivate myself if I was having a bad day.
Right.
I know you know that you have seen me.
You know that I know that you know.
You have seen me struggle in the gym and have hard days. I think I had more than you did.
Yeah.
I think because I was just younger and I think so too. I had a lot of growing to do.
You haven't seen my hard days. You came in my junior year, which I'm like, I saw your freshman year.
Yeah.
And freshman year's always hard to stay motivated.
That's true. I wasn't there during your freshman year. You were already low key an upperclassman when I came in.
I was bougie.
But whenever I'm having a hard time or when I'm struggling in the gym or just in life in general, now that I'm not in gym anymore, I kind of just like to embrace the small goals along the way towards my big goal because I feel that when you have this big goal set and then you feel that you're kind of making progress, but not really. And it just seems like you're not really progressing or making these big steps towards your final goal that you want to get to. You can start to get frustrated, and you're not really taking it day by day. And you're kind of just like, why am I not getting to this point? Why do I not have this car, or whatever the goal is? Why,
right.
You know what I mean? And you're just not really thinking about, okay, I'm working really hard in the gym, or I'm waking up early to focus on rehab, or just anything small that's getting you towards that goal. And I feel that helps me. I focus on the small goals, because it's like, okay, I'm doing this every day, and the consistency is going to help me get to that big goal. That's what helps me.
Wow, Jay, we're like the same person.
And I was over here saying that we have different methods.
We have different methods, but maybe we
not.
Don't actually. No, okay, honestly, like how I stay motivated on a daily basis too, like even if you're injured or anything, like celebrating the small things that happen each day, celebrating the small things that happen during your day really helps you to stay motivated, because then you're almost like happy each time when you do something. Like
That's
today,
true.
I checked off email this person, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like reaching my goal for the day because I'm doing something on my checklist. That's the other thing.
Right. I feel like I was about to say the exact thing you're about to
Wow.
say. Writing it down.
Our telepathy is like on point right now.
Is that what you were going to say? Writing things down? Yeah. What I do is I write 3 main things I want to get done in the day. And it can be anything like doing laundry, or you know what I mean? But which is always fun, doing laundry. But just as long as I keep that consistency and I'm like getting the stuff done that I need to get done in that day, then it's like, okay, I was productive. It's not like I felt like I was wasting time, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and I had to learn that though, because like my first...
I'm still learning.
Seriously. No, because I was so unorganized my freshman year. Like I was so scatterbrained and like all over the place.
Yeah, you're very scattered.
Wow, Jay.
You're still
the truth comes out again. No, but like my freshman year and sophomore year, like I had an agenda, but I didn't really write like my to-do list down. And now I feel so much more organized and like proud of my to-do lists. And it sounds so stupid, but like they're all
it's not
colorful
stupid.
And like
I have literally different colored pens in my bag right now.
Me too.
Okay, cool.
Great. But like that's what helps me stay motivated each day, is like when I can write down all the things I need to do, because I have a general sense of like my large goals. Like say in gymnastics, like I had the goal to go to 2012 Olympics when I was younger, right? And then every day was kind of like, but I was so scatterbrained that I didn't really write down my goals until like a couple months before.
Yeah.
And it was like, maybe I made a food list of like what not to eat. And it was kind of like things I can eat after I reached the Olympics, but it wasn't like on a daily basis for me to get like better.
It was kind of just restrictions, right?
Right.
Or
and
what you can or what you could look forward to after you finish the Olympics. I can
yeah,
eat
I guess
these
that
after.
helped me stay motivated on a daily basis, like writing things that, it's like the mouse and the cheese. Is that a good analogy?
You need to enlighten me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, when you put a cheese block on the floor and like the mouse crawls up to it and then it gets trapped.
Oh,
so
I see.
It's like teasing it.
Okay.
I guess that's another way you could stay motivated on a daily basis. But I'm just saying that now that I've made lists, it's so much easier to be proud of like the little goals that I get through.
Little goals are important.
I think little goals are really important.
And we should celebrate them more often.
Well, honestly, I think big goals aren't as big of a deal.
They're not as big of a deal as you should?
I'm saying they're not as big of a deal because when you're looking at the small goals, it's like you can work. So you have your big goal.
Yeah.
You have your small goals. You check off your small goals one part at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But what if something comes out of that small goal? Like, what if an opportunity comes that you never thought of? Now, I think small goals are way more important than big goals.
Yeah, I think that's true. And then it's kind of taking advantage of every opportunity, I think, too. When you talk about the small goals, and if something comes up and it kind of like, okay.
All right, tell me. Go ahead.
I'm trying to, let's see, what am I trying to say? Well, I know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to hone in on my thoughts. Basically, when it comes, so let's say you have this goal. I'm going to use The Rock. Do you know Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, as an example?
Oh, I literally thought you were talking about like a rock that
No,
on the ground. I'm like,
No,
Janay, I've never heard of this analogy of your rock.
No. Yeah, no, the actor. But he wanted to be in the NFL so bad. That was his goal. That was his dream. And he went into the CFL, and then he got cut. And he talks about how that was the best thing that's ever happened to him because now he's the most
he's like the
successful actor
paid
in the world.
Third highest paid actor or something. Or
Exactly.
Like top 5. I'm trying to be Dwayne.
Right? So it's like, but before his dream and his only goal was to just play in the NFL. And granted, he's huge. He probably would have been great. But no, that didn't work out for him. And he's now pursuing this other career that is working amazing for him. So it's kind of similar to, so when people have these big goals, but you kind of take it day by day and you take advantage of the opportunities that come to you within those days, you know what I mean? You never know where life can take you, but that's the path you were meant to lead anyway. So I think that's what made me think when you said the big goals aren't as important as important for the small goals, because the big goal may not happen, but that's okay,
Yeah, I think it's fine. Actually, I don't even know if I've ever asked you this question. So Janay and I have a very close relationship. I want to make that known out there.
Maybe a little too close, but
a little too close, like to a point where I could probably legally marry her and it could be believable. But,
that's not happening.
It's fine. But, okay, no, I don't think I've ever asked you this. What happens on days where you're not motivated?
What happens on days when I'm not motivated?
Like, okay, I'm going to tell you an example.
I would take a PD.
Okay. Let's explain what a PD is.
So on the UCLA gymnastics team, Miss Val, I think these were super important too, because
I think so too.
She just talks about how,
Wait, who's Miss Val?
That's true. So Miss Val is the head coach, who is now going to be retiring this year, but she is the head coach of UCLA gymnastics. I think she has been, it's over 20 years. I just don't know the exact amount of years at the moment. Do you?
I'm realizing we need to look up facts.
Okay, I'm going to just say Miss Val, she is the head coach of UCLA gymnastics currently. And when I came in as a freshman, she explained PDs, and these are called personal days. So she said, you're going to wake up some days and you're either going to be sick, you're going to have too much homework, or you're just really not going to be feeling it.
Or you need to do laundry, or you're just not feeling it that day.
And that's just life. Guys, every day, there are some days when you're not going to wake up and just, it's just not going to be.
Or cry for no reason.
Yeah, we're pretty emotional. So sometimes you're just going to need those days to just take off of gymnastics and have a little me time. Yeah. And so that's what was the question? Your question was what happens on days when I'm not motivated?
Yeah.
I kind of just when I was on the team, I took a PD. But there were some days where I didn't have a PD to give, and I would still have to come in, right? So I would always go to. Do you remember when I would always walk outside to collect myself if I was struggling? Did you ever notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would walk out and I would look at the John Wooden pyramid, and I would always look at poise, and I would always look at consistency.
So the John Wooden pyramid, if you guys don't know what it is, John Wooden pyramid is John Wooden was the men's basketball coach, and he won 11 national championships at UCLA. Crazy. Anyways, I think he was like ranked number 1 for like a consecutive amount of times. Mm-hmm. He was one of the greatest coaches of all time. So he basically
basketball coach, life coach, everything.
I think he took Ms. Val under his wing.
I would have loved to meet him, but I didn't get that opportunity.
It's okay. I didn't either. But
I've read his books though; they're so good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
I've read Wooden. My dad actually made me it was beneficial and I loved it, but he sat me down and said, you have to read this book.
Like before you came to UCLA?
Yeah, before I came.
Oh.
And it was basically going through all of the blocks of the pyramid.
Yeah, so in the Pyramid of Success, it's basically he had built building blocks of what he thought was important to have, what's the top one? Competitive greatness. Okay, the top block and how to get to competitive greatness. That's what he talks about in the Pyramid of Success. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
Oh, because I talked about when I would have.
Oh yeah,
when I wasn't motivated. Yeah, when I wasn't motivated, I would go outside of where we would train, and there was this case where the Pyramid of Success was, and I would look at poise, which is basically being at ease in stressful situations. So to me, not being motivated, that stresses me out because it's like, how am I going to get through the workout? So I would look at that, read that, and resonate that with myself. And then also consistency, because to me, consistency is the key to breakthrough. So
Right.
I would take some deep breaths, read those, and then go back in and just Peng watch me, Chris
Yeah.
and I would just ask for, you guys to cheer me on, or whether it be I need you guys to talk me up, motivate me, one and done, whatever the assignment was, just to have me finish the assignment successfully.
And that's what I say, like, when on days when you're not motivated, it's hard to self-motivate yourself. Like, obviously you have to practice it and, like, try it yourself. But I think on some days when you're not as motivated, that's when it's, like, okay to ask for help, like in the gym. Like, say, like in gymnastics practice, when I'm just really not feeling doing something, I really need someone to either watch me so that, like, I'm accountable, or someone cheer me on, like, as loud as I can, so I can just get, like, be proud of, like, the one turn that I take for the day.
I was a big fan of somebody watching me. Someone always had to be watching me, but especially when I wasn't motivated or I just felt a little iffy just about the day in general or the event or whatever I was on, I would always, hey, can you watch me, please? Just watch this one. And I would have no issue going, which is great. But, yeah, I was a big fan of Peng. Peng, can you?
She'd always come to me and be like, Peng, can you watch me? Like, Peng, can you watch me?
In that exact tone. Yeah.
No, actually, on those days, her voice went even quieter. Peng, can you watch me? Okay, so we're going to come back and talk about what we left off on, about when you're sick and stressed, how do you stay motivated on a daily basis? Okay, I'm going to give you a small story. Janay knows this. But we're going to back to the canker sore thing.
Peng gets really bad, and they're massive, guys. They're
we're-
huge canker sores that she gets when she's stressed. So go ahead and get into that.
They're awful, but, like, honestly, I get them when I'm so stressed to a point I think I physically make myself sick.
Yeah, because I feel that stress is just the worst thing that you can place on yourself, because then your body starts to break down and your immune system. It just affects everything. So, yeah.
So I feel like when on those days, because it's easier to say, like, oh, you're healthy, how do I stay motivated on the days where I'm just not feeling it? But when you're, like, sick and stressed, like, actually with the canker sores and stuff, and you're, like, hurting, like, it's so hard to stay motivated on the daily. Like, I'm really trying to think, like, back to one of my experiences where I had so many canker sores in my mouth. It was during season, and I just, like, didn't want to do, gymnastics or
and you
school.
couldn't even take a day off, right? Yeah.
So I like, what happened on those days when I was trying to stay motivated, I really was trying to, like, kind of get my health back in order. That was, like, goals change all the time, but, like, my health was, like, the number one thing.
Right. I think that's what's important, because when you want to stay motivated to do other things, but when you are sick, you have to put your health first, because you have to bring yourself back to that 100% to even do the best job, whether it be in the gym or, you're going to work or whatever you're doing in life.
Yeah.
But you have to get yourself back as far as health-wise to even start setting those small goals again. So then the small goals should be drinking more water,
right.
Taking the vitamins or whatever you do, washing your sheets.
Well, no, oh my gosh. Honestly, because whenever I had the canker sores and stuff, I would look up online, like, things that would help inflammation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember me making these kale muffins?
I do, and I tried them.
No comment.
I don't remember them being that great, but I supported
healthy.
you.
It was, like, made out of buckwheat flour.
Oh my gosh.
But, like, anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, like, when you're stressed and sick, the small goals for me was just getting my health back in order with, like, looking up how to get rid of them, like drinking lots of water or drinking
or what
eating
to change in your
foods.
lifestyle.
Yeah, but it's a day by day basis. Like, I think that's what can get frustrating, is when you think about the long term goal of, oh my gosh, when am I going to get better? And it's hard to think that way, because if you're thinking that way, of course you're going to be frustrated. You're in day one. So that's why, like, each day is important to make those small goals. And those goals will come every single day differently.
Right.
Like, I think sometimes you'll have the same goal, like, oh, I need to drink this amount of water every single day. But, like, to stay motivated on a daily basis is, like, I need to sometimes you wake up and you're like, oh, shoot, I have this. And now your goals change.
Right,
and you have
right.
to adapt.
Right. No, I totally agree. I'm trying to think of, I was sick all the time freshman year, and I'm trying to think when.
Same.
I think that's just the thing that happens when you get to college and you're just around all these people.
All the
in
germs.
the dorms, and you're just cooped up with so many people.
Honestly, I think that's why freshman year was such a
rough time.
It was rough, but it was like the most educational or like learning experience, the best learning experience ever.
What would you say was the biggest learning experience from your freshman year?
My freshman year, the biggest.
Since I wasn't around you.
Oh yeah, that's true. Honestly, I had to learn how to. I really had to learn how to make my goals, like.
Because you kind of were just going through.
I was just going through the motion.
Yeah.
I was like a random international student who didn't even know what fraternities and sororities were. And I was like, what am I doing here? It's like, what is this UCLA campus?
Oh my God.
And so but I had to learn how to make all these small goals because I was also coming off of the 2012 Olympics. I had torn my ACL right before Olympics. So I came in freshman year with a torn ACL.
That's right. And then you got surgery, right?
And I got surgery 2 weeks before I came to UCLA.
Okay, so you came in fresh out of surgery.
Yeah. I was like barely walking. My parents were nervous to like
quite a way to come in.
Right? And my parents were nervous to like send me off to the airport because
Yeah.
they're like, you can't walk. But then anyways, so I feel like the biggest thing from freshman year is I had to learn how to make like celebrate the small goals, like what you were saying at the beginning, because I was doing rehab on the daily. Like it was, okay, tomorrow we're doing rehab. And the next day we're doing rehab. Okay, next week we're going to do even more rehab. And it was like just rehab the whole time. That's so boring.
Yeah, exactly.
But I had to celebrate.
We're going to
like,
talk about that later, about
my
how
God.
rehab is important for injuries. Whew.
Yeah. But I had to celebrate all the small goals because it was like, okay, today we're going to do a lunge. And then tomorrow we're going to do like 20 squats. Or so not 20. That's over exaggerating. Like 5 squats.
Yeah.
And so like when I could do the 5 squats without pain, it was like a celebratory moment. So I feel like that really got me through my freshman year, and I learned to celebrate the small goals because that's what helped me stay positive throughout all that.
Yeah, and then you
know?
continued that through your 6 years. I was about to say 4. Or 6 years of college. Yeah, for me, especially because I was sick all the time freshman year, and I remember I kept getting tested for strep throat and stuff, but it wasn't.
Oh my God,
but
I
then
remember
they didn't,
that.
Yeah, but then they didn't give me medication or anything. They just said, "Oh, drink tea and take Advil," and it's like I tried all of that, and I still wasn't getting better, and it was already day 10, and it got to the point where I was literally just taking Advil so I could eat food because my throat was hurting so bad. So I don't even want to know what strep throat feels like if that wasn't strep throat. But when it came to staying motivated. Because at this point, I wasn't even thinking about gym. I was just thinking about getting better. And I'm sure anybody can vouch that being sick is the worst thing because you feel horrible.
Well, then you feel 10 pounds heavier, and then the beam is like kind of like not on the straight line there.
And then you feel like you have vertigo
dizzy.
because you're dizzy, and it's just not this is just not sports are hard when you're sick because then you also can't breathe either. I've had
sicknesses were you getting?
bronchitis and then tried to do a full routine. But what I was saying is that staying motivated when you're sick, I think I was making small goals of like, okay, I'm going to drink this amount of water.
That's true.
And okay, and then once I did that, it's like, okay, I'm going to wash my sheets because when you're sick, you got to do that. And that's something I learned when I got to college. Definitely didn't think about that when I was growing up, and I totally get that, honestly. But it's kind of just making those small goals every day, and like, okay, you feel yourself getting a little better, well, drink this much more water, or take this, and just being disciplined in terms of getting better, because I feel that especially in college, because you're around so many people, you want to be social and everything, and you're not really thinking about that, and all you want to do is be around people and be social. And I know you definitely are like that, because I was like that a little bit. So it's kind of just staying disciplined in that when you need to get better and you need to be there for your team, you got to be disciplined in the fact and getting healthy.
That's true. Honestly, I feel like we learned a lot about how to stay motivated, like on the daily, because we had to be accountable for each other. Like we're talking about 22 girls on a team.
And that's big for a gymnastics team already.
You cannot get away with anything. Like even if you did something, I don't know, like 20 miles away, someone's going to find out, and it gets relayed back, and then you're kind of like stuck.
This is true.
Yeah. So because I feel like when you're younger, you're just around your family, and like your gymnastics gymnastics for us was more individual.
Yeah, and
So
it was
didn't
more
matter.
external. So, but in college, it's combined with your school and with your, you know what I mean? Like everything is intertwined with each other, rather than gymnastics that's practice. Practice is away from family and all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm saying like in college when you're accountable,
yeah,
you have to be disciplined to make those small goals of like I need to drink a certain amount of water because I need to not be sick for my team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like when like in life in general, like what have you taken? Because okay, we're both not on the gymnastics team anymore, so we're both happily retired. I say happily.
Former gymnast, yes.
Yeah, people ask me like, "Oh, are you sad to be done with the sport?" I'm like, "No, I am happily retired. My body has thanked me." But like I'm sad to not be on a team anymore. And like of course I miss doing gymnastics, but like my body is telling me no. But I'm saying like what kind of goals have you made? What would you say how do you make goals? I'm going to just ask you.
How do I make goals?
Yeah, how do you make goals?
I make a vision board. So basically I try and make attainable goals as far as for my end goal, you know what I mean? So I don't think, I want to be on ESPN in 2 months. That's definitely not.
Like are your goals more specific?
Yeah, they're definitely more specific, and I think I'll write down things as far as, okay, I need to, should I give example? I don't even know, like.
It's up to you.
Oh, goodness. This is, honey, you make goals.
You can't turn it back on me. Okay, well, I'll tell you this. I'm not as detailed as you.
Yeah, I'm
like
super detailed.
Janay's way more detailed with goals. I'm not. I'm like, I'll make a vision board, and I'm like the opposite of you. I'm like, I want 1 million subscribers, and I want like,
yeah,
and I want to be in Hollywood, and like my vision board is like big dreams. Mine's more like, I think I need to see like a big dream like for me to make little goals. So it's like that, but that's how I work. It's like I'll make a vision board of all the big things that I can think of, and kind of like I want a penguin army. So I call my followers penguins because like I'm Peng. I'm OG Peng.
Ain't that cute?
Isn't it cute? So then I was like, I want a penguin army. So on my vision board, I have like all these penguins, like just looks like a whole
an army of them,
like an army of them.
Yeah.
But and then I have like I'm just dreaming big. Like I have the 1 million subscriber plaque on mine. I have like all these like Nike, Adidas, like big names that I want to work with on my vision board. And then when I do like on the daily basis, I make to-do lists to make small goals each day. So I'm working hard because I feel like if I put the big goals out in the universe, all the daily little goals that I do will somehow get me there.
Okay, I see what you mean. I'm glad you laid that out for me, though, because I was really struggling on how to explain that. What?
I'm just saying I'm not as detailed as you.
Oh, no, me?
You are way, like, when I was, like, say, going for 2012 Olympics, I had the big goal of 2012 Olympics, and then each day was kind of like, what is the goal for today? Okay, I want to learn this skill, or I want to do this. And then I would kind of think, okay, what is the best routine that I could get out of, like, say the best bar routine, the best beam routine? What is the best, like, amount of skills I could put together? And I guess that would be, like, a medium goal of something that's closer and that's attainable.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll have the big goals on the outer part. So let's say I'll have ESPN or, the NBA, or I'll have different things on the outer part. But then my actual goals, I'll have more attainable ones in that year. And I'll put not a time frame, but I'll put, okay, I'll aim for this time. But it's more, like you said, attainable, meets in the middle sort of thing. But as far as daily goals, I'll think of, okay, I need to do my speech practice, you know what I mean? And I need to do that every day because I talk really fast.
Really?
Yeah, I do. You like that right now when I like get stumbled on my words because I'm over here because my mind is always racing. So
I was like, I don't remember you talking fast.
No, I talk really fast. Not like Matea fast, but
Matea's a girl on our team and I can't understand her sometimes. That girl talks so fast.
No, I'll listen to videos of myself and I'm speaking and I think Janay, slow down because I need to just collect my thought. No, yeah. That's interesting that all right. I think I'm just being extra critical of myself. But those are, I guess, more daily goals that I make for myself. And it's like, I want to be fluent in Spanish, so I need to practice Spanish every day. Like, that's on my vision board. And I'll have
you done it? Have you practiced Spanish every day?
Oh, not recently, no.
So, Janay, how do you stay motivated?
And I think especially
that was a legitimate question. Don't walk away from
No,
this.
I'm not. No,
okay.
I'm not. No. I think what I've been struggling with, because I know I've been better with it, especially in the beginning of the year, but I just had my Pac-12 debut, right? So I was really focused on that and kind of pushing the other things that I was doing on the daily on the side because I was really stressed and thinking about that. But it's kind of me. I need to focus more on time management and making time as far as when it comes to practicing Spanish every day or listening to my podcast every morning, because those are the daily goals that I do. I listen to my podcast every morning when I go to rehab. Yes, guys, I still have rehab at like 6 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah. But as far as me staying motivated to learn Spanish every day, I'll remember, and then I'll think, okay, I need to rewind it back, reconvene a little bit, and make a more, I guess, attainable, I won't say daily goal, but make it like, okay, weekly.
You know what I mean?
Actually, and then good point. I'll adjust it because I'm like, okay, maybe trying to practice Spanish every day and blocking out 30 minutes. Yeah. I need to make it more, 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So, because then when another task comes up, like this podcast or like my Pac-12 thing, and I'm thinking about that all the time, I need to kind of just readjust what my goal is, and then because my vision board is a whiteboard, because I'll erase it and adjust it all the time and make them more attainable. So that's why I'm like super specific with my goals every day, because sometimes we like think really big about our goals. It's like, oh, this is totally doable, and then a month will go by, or not even like a week will go by, and then you'll think, okay, no, I need to do something more realistic.
You bring up a good point, because when you're so inspired by something or you're so motivated, then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna take an hour out of my day to like practice my singing stuff. Yeah, and I'm gonna do like half an hour of this, and you think it's actually attainable. But I want to say, like, it's okay to realize that it's not attainable every single day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, it's okay to, I'm not saying you failed because you tried, Yeah. Like, at least you tried. And even with like, say, I think for me it was to read something every single day.
I had that on my goal too.
That has not happened. Now I'm really thinking about what my life now is. It's like, no, it hasn't happened. So like I'm saying, but it's okay, and maybe you can have a more reachable goal, and that's when you're really self-assessing. And you learn more about yourself when you do that, because you can't just be depressed all the time that you didn't reach your goals for the day.
Exactly. Or if you set these daily goals that say, oh, I'm going to block out the hour of this, but you don't get to it that day, then I feel that sometimes we'll get down on ourselves because we didn't make the time or something happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then besides I always want to say reconvening. What is that? What is the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like when you reassess. Reassess is what I'm thinking of. Because besides reassessing and coming up with a more attainable goal, you'll just either, maybe give up, or you're like, okay, this isn't happening because, it didn't work out the 3 times I've tried it, but you gotta just kind of readjust it. And,
the thing is, when you're going through something that has been on your agenda and stuff like that, and you don't reach it, people can get into like a woe is me, I didn't make it kind of thing, but then they're not thinking about it positively. And that's the other thing that actually helps me stay motivated on a daily basis, is being grateful for what has happened that day.
That is something I've been really good at.
Yeah, rather than being like, oh, I didn't reach this goal, I didn't send out these emails. Okay, what am I actually grateful for that has happened today? Because I feel like when we were on the team, we really were taught like every day is literally a gift.
Is a gift.
And you don't even know what's going to happen. You don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. You might not even make it to tomorrow. Yeah. So we really like learned that you have to be happy. Like, if today was your last day, would you be proud? That's kind of like,
would you be happy if that's it? You know what I mean? Would you be satisfied? Okay, I lived my day to the fullest. You know what I mean? It's kind of just getting back to, staying positive and
being intentional too.
Yeah, and all of your actions.
Yeah. I feel like I've learned a lot like through sports how to apply it on a daily basis now, for sure. Like, because we're not in sports anymore, but I feel like we've taken a lot out of like our experiences and applied it to our daily life. And like, what are your, say, top 3 things that you still do now to stay motivated?
Okay, definitely for me, when it comes, because now I'm in the real world, I'm adulting, I'm not a student athlete anymore.
Adulting is hard.
It is, definitely. Don't ever grow up. I'm just kidding. You definitely have to. But
you have to. You have no choice but to grow up.
It's interesting because all we ever wanted to do was grow up, and now I just want to be 5 years old again.
Same. Life was simpler.
It definitely was.
With my
but
lollipops.
for me, I'm just thinking about how I go about my daily life. So basically, when it comes to what I have learned from sport as far as staying motivated, and, you know, it's definitely writing things down and journaling. That's something I've learned from being on the team. I journal.
What do you write in those journals?
Just whatever thoughts come to my head, what went through, because I do it once a week. So,
Oh, okay.
And that was an attainable one for me, because
Yeah.
I remember I started with, let me try 3 times a week. No, that didn't. So I had to reconvene. And it's basically what I'm thankful for, what I went through in the week, what could have been better, what I need to work on, different things like that. And it's kind of just, you know, reassessing and just taking that time to really think about how can I make myself better? And I think that's something I've learned from the sport too, is that we're always learning and we're always growing. You never reach a final destination. So I would say writing things down. And I would say for me, being thankful in everything and for everything that I'm blessed with, definitely. And that keeps me motivated because I am really blessed. And I feel that sometimes we get so caught up in what is going on.
Yeah,
and that
so
you don't
true.
and you don't think about what you're blessed with. You don't think about your family and your friends. You know what I mean? So it kind of just...
Yeah, especially living in a hectic environment with like...
LA is super
LA
hectic.
is so hectic.
And you'll just be thinking about traffic rather than, you know what I mean? Besides, like, I have a car to even drive in traffic. You know what I mean? So
Right,
I think of being thankful. And then also, I just go back to consistency, because I think that's just really important in general in attaining any goals. And it's just staying consistent in those small things, whether they can be, eating an apple or, you know, just eating healthy or eating a healthy meal every day. And then that'll just add up, especially when it comes to, you know, if you want to lose weight or if you want to just get a healthy lifestyle, waking up to go to the gym, going to the gym once a week and staying consistent with that. Because, you know, everybody has the New Year resolution, but then that falls off by February. So it's just, I think I just go back to consistency and just kind of staying consistent in the small goals, but making sure they are realistic.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 things.
Yeah. Mine is more, like, mine are similar to yours.
Yeah.
Like, something I've taken into the real world with me is that I have to make small goals every single day. Like, I will take the time before I go to bed to like list out things I need to do for the next day, because you know me, I'm very scattered and I'm very forgetful. So I have to write it out, and if I don't write it out, like, I can't even write lists on my phone. Like, when we're talking about like things to do, I can't do it on my phone.
You have to write it down on a piece of paper?
Oh. Yeah, I have to write it down on a piece of paper. So the thing, like, with me, like, that, how I say, like, get through each day is, like, I'll have to make the list, and then something to take away too is that I'm really, like, proud and I celebrate when I do the things on my list. And if I don't get to something, then I'm kind of like, okay, like, how am I going to do it tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to allow yourself to get time so that you're overall happy. Because I know when I'm stressed, I get sick.
Yeah.
And that almost pushes me back more if I were to get everything done, stay up late. Instead of actually, like, planning it throughout the week. So I guess, like, weekly medium goals is, like, my thing.
That's a really good point. Wow.
Wow, we're so deep.
Ambition on fleek.
Ambition on fleek.
That rhymed. Well, our time is coming to an end, but we just want to thank you guys for listening. And if you learned some helpful tips or anything that has inspired you or what you learned from this episode, share it with your friends, your family. Comment below and let us know what you enjoyed the most about this episode.
Yeah, and Janay and I are going to be talking about so many more things. I feel like for some reason
we were trying to talk more about.
I wanted to talk more about stuff, but we didn't, that's fine. We'll talk about it in further episodes of this season. So I hope you guys are enjoying what you're listening to, and I hope you stay tuned for the next episode.
Hope you subscribe so you never
Oh, yeah. And I hope you subscribe so you never miss an episode of Janay and Peng Peng.
That's cute.
Thanks.
We're keeping that.
We're keeping that. Au revoir.
Adios.
Bye-bye.